Hi, so I'm Ryo, and I completed my Thru-Hike last year. Did a no-bow Thru-Hike of the Appalachian Trail. 136 days, started March 16th, finished July 29th. And I'm going to show you my gear and the setup that I had. So I'm going to start off with the clothes that I wore. So this is just a Mountain Hardwear shirt. It's all polyester. It's called Feather Light. It's like 3 ounces. And I wore it probably the last 1,200 miles or so. These are the socks. It's just darn tough, and they're the ankle socks. So I wore 1 pair of ankle socks, and then I also carried 2 pairs of regular darn tough socks. This is a polyester bandana I got at the dollar store in Georgia before I left for the trail. And then these are some compression shorts, and I got these at TJ Maxx, and I wore these, not this particular pair, but the same exact thing, every single day of the entire trail. And the only thing that happened was the elastic tore away a little bit from the short itself. And then these are North Face zip-off pants, and they actually go above the knee, so when you're hiking, they don't. There's no like knee abrasion. And I just wore a simple belt with these, and I never used the bottoms. We had snow, it got really cold, but your legs are never uncomfortably cold when you're hiking. At least in my case. And the thing I especially like about these is that there's a zipper pocket on the side. And in the zipper pocket is where I kept my purse, or my wallet, or whatever you want to call it. But it was a Ziploc bag. And in the Ziploc bag, I carried my wallet, which I had a wallet made out of Tyvek, but I threw it away. And my earplugs and my cell phone. And my cell phone was also my camera and how I wrote my blog every night and posted it. So I would take this out of my pocket maybe 5 or 6 or 10 times a day, and then just fold it back up, zip it closed, pop it in the zipper pocket, seal it up, and I never had to worry about it getting wet. My phone never got wet. I always knew where my most important things were, my money and my phone. And having your earplugs handy too in your pocket and knowing exactly where your earplugs are is very useful, especially if you're staying in a shelter and someone's snoring and all the lights are gone, you don't know where your headlamp is, etc. So that's an important thing. So hiking poles, trekking poles. These did very well with my tent, and I would not hike without poles. They make uphills easier, they make downhills easier. They incorporate your arms so you're not always working your legs. Hiking poles are a great asset. So from there, I'll show you my pack. And this is an Ohm 2.0 by ULA. Has the detachable hip belt. And the pack itself weighs about 29 ounces. And I was very happy overall with this pack, very happy. And Chris at ULA is exemplary of customer service and what it should be. So I'll start on the outside of the pack, and in this back mesh are things that I wanted immediately accessible. So this was my toilet bag. So if I go to do number 2 in the woods, I had wet wipes and instant hand sanitizer. And I just carried a small bottle of instant hand sanitizer and filled it up in trail towns. There was almost always someone that had bought a giant container. And then wet wipes worked much better than toilet paper. Wet wipes are more sanitary, you can do a better job. And the one and you're done, they're called. One and you're done wet wipes are the best for babies. They're really durable, and I was very happy with those. So there's my toilet bag. I carried a floatable 1 liter platypus, just in case I needed to carry a little bit more water than I thought. I also put my paracord in here. Paracord is good for bear bags and clotheslines and emergency situations, etc. So paracord weighs almost nothing, and it's very useful, so don't skimp on it. And then a rain cover. This is Osprey rain cover from my day pack. On the one side pocket, I carried the stuff sack with a zipper, and in here I put a pen, had my meds, aspirin and allergy and diarrhea, antibiotic, And I also put a needle and my patch kit for my inflatable mattress. So I never needed any of it, but it was there in case I did. And then in this bag, I carried a book for reading. I read this on the trail. I highly recommend it. And then I also have my AT Thru-Hiker's Companion. So as you can see, I started with the entire book, and I actually ended up cutting it into 4 sections. So the first section is through Virginia, the second section is up to Connecticut, and then I left the Whites and Maine for the final section. So I also indicated on the pages where I spent every single night, so that I could go back and say, oh, where was I on night 111? 112 I was at Chet's place. So it's just good to keep notes. I wish I would have been a little bit more thorough, but I kept a blog for that purpose. And all of that stuff I kept in this blue bag, and it was very handy on the side of my pack. I didn't have to take off my pack to get to it. And on the other side, I got it at a pharmacy. I guess it's for cough syrup. But I use this to carry my denatured alcohol for my alcohol stove, and it never leaked. I got it for free. It's beautiful. I love this bottle. And I actually carried a smart water bottle, just the plastic bottle, but I don't have one anymore, and this is comparable in size and shape. So I had one water bottle. I had the collapsible platypus, and I had a 2-liter Camelback that I'll show you in a second. So on the top of my bag, I have one carabiner, and it's a nicer one. And then I also carried these flip-flop sandals for camp shoes. And then also on top of my pack, I attach it to my carabiner in case it falls off. But this is my Shires TarpTent, and I love it. And it was fantastic, and it works with both my hiking poles. So, my hip belt pockets. In my hip belt pocket, I would carry my headlamp in a Ziploc bag so it wouldn't get wet. Carry my Aquamira, and I loved Aquamira. It worked very well. I taped the bottles together so I never had to look for one of them. And I also carried a little tiny Leatherman, Squirt it's called, and it has pliers. In my other pocket, I would just carry granola bars, and I'd stuff the wrappers in there during the day. So the right pocket was always snacks, the left pocket was a couple necessities, and that's the hip belt. And then inside my pack, on the very top, I carried a 2-liter Camelback. And then I have a bag liner, but I used a trash compactor bag, and it worked extremely well. Nothing inside my pack ever got wet. This is very durable and waterproof, and I recommend it. So the top layer of my pack, I have my pot, and I just close it off with a rubber band instead of giving it its own stuff sack. Unnecessary. And so there's the lid. Have my sport key with a piece of paracord so it's easier to find. Have one lighter. This was for measuring out the amount of alcohol I needed. It weighs nothing, probably 2 grams, and it helped me measure my alcohol better. Here's my stove, just a fancy feast stove, very easy. Just pour the alcohol in and light the outside. And here's my windscreen with a paper clip. So everything fit in here nicely, and I never had any issues with an alcohol stove. I loved having an alcohol stove. I don't think I would do it any other way. For a thru-hike, that is. So also on the top, I have my down jacket, and I actually use this as my pillow. And then my rain jacket, this is the Patagonia Torrent Shell Parka. I always hiked in my t-shirt, but if it ever got really cold or rainy, I would just put on my rain jacket and hike with this on. And next is my food bag. So 15 liter stuff sack, and hang it like that upside down from the bear bag. And I did another video on the kind of food, but 15 liter is plenty, especially for an OHM 2.0 bag like this. You can't carry too much weight. So that was probably 4 days worth of food. So then the next liter, this is my clothing bag. It's just a little 4-liter stuff sack. But honestly, besides the clothes that you're wearing, you don't need much more. I carried Like I said, 2 extra pairs of socks, darn tough because they'll replace them if you wear them out. They're a great company. I always carried a winter hat, and I carried a pair of running shorts, and then this is just a camp shirt, polyester shirt. It's nice to be able to change out of your nasty hiking shirt at the end of the day. So I recommend carrying 1 set of clothes for camp, 1 set of clothes for hiking, and that's a couple pairs of socks. Rain jacket, down jacket. Okay, and here is my Neo Air all-season sleeping pad. Okay, so on the bottom layer, the bottom layer of my pack is my sleeping bag, and I keep it in a 20-liter stuff sack. And I have a bag liner. Especially in the summer, it was nice to just use this on top of my sleeping bag. But this kept my sleeping bag cleaner and added a little bit of warmth. And then my sleeping bag was a 20-degree Western Mountaineering ultralight, and I love this bag. The only times it ever got wet was when I tucked my head inside at night because I was cold and I was breathing, and all the moisture from my breath got it a little wet. But besides that, I never had an issue. I think down is the way to go. It's much lighter, compresses better. The only other thing I didn't show you was inside the ULA bag there's like a little hanging pouch. And in this hanging pouch, I kept a Ziploc bag. And in the Ziploc bag I kept my iPhone charger. And I also kept an external battery. So when my iPhone ran out of juice, this little charger could power up my iPhone 2 full charges. So this always saved me when I needed another day or two's worth of power. But keeping your phone on airplane mode can pretty much get you 2 or 3 days of power. My base weight was roughly 12, 13 pounds, and with 4 days of food, I was working with roughly 28 pounds, and 28 pounds is just slightly under what the limit of the bag was. And I was very happy with the bag and my gear, and you'd be surprised what you don't need. Do your research beforehand and have fun on the hike. Cool. Thank you.